The week of the SEC Championship is here. The stage is set. Alabama, Florida, live from Atlanta on this Saturday. You are locked and loaded onto the hottest show on the streets, the #1 forum for Crimson Tide football news. That being in my own words with yours truly, Stephen Smith of Touchdown Alabama Magazine. Really excited to have everybody tuned into tonight's show. Got a lot to discuss, dive in, talk about, conversate amongst ourselves, and first and foremost, the show brought to you by WeOwnTheFourthQuarter.com. That is WeOwnTheFourthQuarter.com. If you haven't done so, go ahead right now, get you that four-finger bling necklace, purchase you that four-finger bling jewelry, showing that support for Coach Saban, the University of Alabama, the student athletes, and its tradition, Alabama's tradition, of owning and dominating the fourth quarter. So check them out right now, WeOwnTheFourthQuarter.com. We are bringing you the show from Tuscaloosa, streaming this to you through YouTube. Speaking of the channel, go ahead right now, like the show up, run those likes up, give a thumbs up on the show, hit that subscribe button, turn all of those notifications on so that way you can have the best in news, notes, and analysis on your favorite program, that being the Crimson Tide. We also got you covered here on Facebook and Twitter as well. So we're streaming this to YouTube, to Facebook, and to Twitter. All bases of social media covered so that you will not miss a second of information on your program, that being the University of Alabama. It's always a joy to be joined live by my man John Ivory, brother from another mother, in the production studio doing his thing. We got a jam-packed show today. Two awesome guests. We're going to be sitting down later on in the show with Matt Hereford, former Alabama wide receiver. He's got a lot of things to bring to the table. And then Chris Franklin, who covers the Philadelphia Eagles for NJ.com, the New Jersey news site there. Jalen Hurts getting his first career win in the NFL as a starting quarterback for the Eagles over the New Orleans Saints. That's a huge talking point right there. Gonna be awesome catching up with one Chris Franklin. But as always, folks, we want to hear from you. This is your week, SEC Championship week. A lot of build-up has been going into this matchup. Heisman on the line, college football playoff implications, SEC Championship. So much this week involving your Alabama Crimson Tide. And we want you ringing those phone lines tonight. 205-448-1358, the number to call in to voice your opinion on the show. 205-448-1358. And one more time, 205-448-1358. Your show, your network fans, to make an opinion, a thought, an idea. Your place to do that right here on In My Own Words. But before we jump into topic number one here of the conversation, got a little bit of a congratulatory update. How about Butch Jones? Butch Jones, the assistant off-field analyst for the Crimson Tide, has accepted a head coaching job at Arkansas State. Congrats to Coach Jones. He was here at Alabama for 3 years, going back to 2018. He came in, he put his head down, he went to work. I know the first 3 head coaching stops may not have been as fruitful as he would have liked them to be, at Central Michigan, at Cincinnati, and then at Tennessee. But comes to Alabama, Coach Saban extends him the olive branch. He was, great in the film room, great in the coaching meetings, great with the analysis, really helped this Alabama offense thrive in an off-field role, and really proud of Coach Jones getting this head coaching opportunity at Arkansas State. So another member from Nick Saban's coaching rehab is spreading his wings. Butch Jones ready to leave the nest. Now, of course, he did mention to Coach Saban, and Saban mentioned it to us in the media, that Jones will continue to stick around with the Crimson Tide throughout the postseason process before taking his journey to Arkansas State. But he is now officially the latest head coach for the Red Wolves. Congrats to one Butch Jones. But now we get into topic number one of the conversation, and the first of this conglomerate, or the segment within segment of topics here. You got Christian Harris. Alabama sophomore linebacker Christian Harris got hurt on the first defensive play of the game for the Tide against Arkansas on last week. Harris came down on his left shoulder. He favored that shoulder walking off the field. He was checked out in the medical tent, was then escorted to the locker room, did not return to action, did not return to the game. And, of course, afterwards, Coach Saban didn't sound all that chipper when he talked about the potential MRI that was going to be done there on Harris. And, of course, U.S. fans highly concerned. Would Alabama have Christian Harris for the SEC title game? Is everything going to be okay with Harris? You know, he's our best linebacker, best defensive player, leading the team in tackles with 64, if I'm not mistaken. A guy that is a semifinalist for the Butkus Award, really having a strong year. Would Alabama have Christian Harris for the matchup against Florida? And discussing with sources, close people I know from within the program, I was told that Harris would not need surgery on his left shoulder. He would be fine. He's okay. Probably just a stinger or a very deep bruise, and he would more than likely be set to go for the SEC championship game. And, of course, Coach Saban, hours after I got the information from my sources, he basically confirmed that Christian Harris okay, shoulder, not as bad as what people thought that it looked like, will not need surgery, does have a chance to play this week against Florida, as the team will be monitoring him throughout this week of practice. So good news there for Christian Harris. He's fine. He's okay. Shoulder injury not as bad is what people originally thought it would be, or thought it was, when he, got hurt and had to be taken off the field there against the Razorbacks. But even with the happiness we all have that Christian Harris is okay, and we are definitely happy, Jalen Moody showed me something against Arkansas. Jalen Moody showed me something. This young man can flat out play. And stepping in, emerging, being that next man up and replacing Christian Harris, Jalen Moody, the junior out of Conway, South Carolina. We're talking about 7 tackles, shared the team lead, had a forced fumble, had a fumble recovery, shared a tackle for loss. The brother was all over the field. And I understand a lot of people say, Steven, calm down. It's just Arkansas. Don't put no stock in that. Don't put no buy in that. It's just Arkansas. Let me tell you something right now. Arkansas lost 3, prior to the Alabama game, Arkansas lost 3 games by combined 7 points. It lost to LSU by 3, it lost to Missouri by 2, it lost to Auburn by 2. Imagine if those games had been flipped differently. Arkansas is 6-3 instead of 3-6 entering the Bama game, and Coach Sam Pittman is up for Coach of the Year honors. That is how much he has changed the culture of that program in 1 year after it had crashed and burned under Chad Morris. And when you look at this matchup, it was 11 a.m., it was an early morning kickoff, cold field, 39 degrees, wet field, bad climate, crazy atmosphere. Of course, Alabama had to get back in time to graduate its 11 student athletes in terms of the football program, with so many things going on here, and you're playing against a fast ball team at the Razorbacks. They go fast, they go quick, they use tempo, they want to get to the edge. They have 2 athletic quarterbacks in Felipe Franks and KJ Jefferson. You had to have a linebacker that had lateral quickness, speed, explosiveness, thumping ability, all of these things. And Jalen Moody displayed all of those things on the field in replacement of Christian Harris. What I saw from Moody is a guy that can flat out play. He can run the sidelines. He's got lateral quickness. He can bring the boomstick. He can hit. He can force fumbles. He can create some plays. And it just felt like with him out there, Alabama did not miss a beat defensively. Coach Saban was proud of him. Fidarian Mathis, Brian Robinson proud. Everybody on the team was excited for what Moody was able to do. And while, of course, we all want to see Alabama with their primary guy on the field at that weak side linebacker position, that's one Christian Harris. But if I was Coach Saban, I wouldn't be against doing this. I would not be against maybe starting Jalen Moody, rewarding him, starting Jalen Moody, and then spot play Christian Harris. Get him some experience in this game. Give him some tread in this game, but don't play him a lot just due to you want to have him really good for the college football playoff. So if Alabama is able to beat Florida this week, which I believe it will do so. So to me, I wouldn't mind having Jalen Moody get the start and then spot playing Christian Harris because of the success Moody had, went out there and played a big-time ball game. But the big thing here, Bama Nation, is this right here. The matchup with the Razorbacks. This was the pass rush everybody thought that Alabama was going to have the entire year. This was the pass rush in the summer, in fall camp, that we all thought Alabama was going to have the entire year. 8 sacks against Arkansas, 10 tackles for loss. I mean, Christian Barmore was acting a monkey out there. He is being dominant at the right time. Byron Young played well. This was the best game DJ Dale has had all year. The likes of Tim Smith played well. Will Anderson, Christopher Allen, everybody that Alabama rotated in that game along that defensive front got after Felipe Franks, got after KJ Jefferson. The pass rush from this group was spot on that entire game. And to be honest with you, since the Georgia game, starting with the Georgia game to right now, so basically the last 7 games of this regular season, look at what this defense has done with the pass rush leading the way here. So in the last 7 games, Alabama defense has given up a combined 77 points. 77 points. That's an average of 11 points per game. Average of 11 a game here. It's got 15 shutout quarters of football, including a complete game shutout of Mississippi State. We're looking at 22 sacks by this pass rush, 22, with the likes of Christian Barmore having 6, Christopher Allen having 6, and Will Anderson having 5. We're talking 47 tackles for loss for this group. We're looking at 15 turnovers, 15 forced turnovers for this group, and we're looking at 3 defensive touchdowns. All of these coming from the Georgia game to this very moment. The pass rush is hitting, it's peaking, it's being dominant at the right time. We all kind of thought this would be the pass rush that would have been for the whole season for Alabama, but it's hitting right now at the right time. And after the loss Florida took at the hands of LSU on last week, I don't know what possessed Marco Wilson to throw that darn shoe. I don't know what possessed him to do that. But the loss that Florida took to LSU on last week at home in the Swamp, LSU got the win 37-34. Florida could not beat an LSU defense that wasn't even healthy. LSU did not have Cordell Flott at corner. It did not have Derek Stingley at corner. So not a healthy LSU defense and an LSU team in general that is beneath a shell of itself. And still, Kyle Trask had 3 turnovers, 2 interceptions, a lost fumble, a pick 6 against an LSU defense that was not even healthy. Alabama took on a healthy LSU defense, and Mac Jones shredded it for 385 passing yards, 4 touchdowns, no turnovers. So if Kyle Trask and the Gators could not handle an LSU team that is a shell beneath the shell of itself, how is it going to handle Barmore and Tim Smith and DJ Dale and Fidarian Mathis and Byron Young and Christopher Allen and Will, and all these guys? How can Florida's offensive line handle this bombardment of a pass rush that's about to come at it on Saturday at Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta? That is beyond me. But got the update there on Christian Harris. Jalen Moody stepped up big time, and this Bama pass rush peaking, dominating at the right time. We take our first break here on the show, folks. Don't touch that dial, just getting started. When we get back, we entertain your phone calls, your thoughts, your chats, your tweets, your questions, your super chats. We get to you guys after this.
You're watching In My Own Words with Stephen M. Smith, brought to you by We Own the Fourth Quarter. Get your four-finger bling necklace today by visiting weownthefourthquarter.com. Throw them foes up. Every sports fan deserves the proper representation. Whitwell Sports introduces to you the Title Towel. Wave that Title Towel in the air like you just don't care in support of Nick Saban and the Alabama Crimson Tide. Only $9.99 and it lasts a lifetime. Head on over to whitwellsports.com and get your Title Towel today.
Remember the taste of Grandma's delicious sweets? Emily's Heirloom Pound Cakes brings back those precious memories with just one bite. Each cake made from scratch. They make the perfect dessert to share with family and friends for any occasion, and ordering is easy. Visit emily'sheirloompoundcakes.com. Click the online store and shop. Then pick up your fresh cake at the kitchen in downtown Homewood. Order yours online at emily'sheirloompoundcakes.com. Emily's Heirloom Pound Cakes, making memories from scratch.
We are back in here, folks. Hottest show on the streets, number one forum for Bama football news. SEC Championship Week. Bama Gators going at it, locking horns in Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta. Alabama going for its seventh conference title, of the Nick Saban era. But before we go to the phone lines, here to take your calls. Call segment brought to you by the Blue Wrench Gang. Got a couple of super chats to get to. Roll Tide and Rise Up, that $10 donation there. Appreciating Roll Tide and Rise Up. And Spencer Reveley dropping that $10 donation on his end. So appreciating Roll Tide and Rise Up and Spencer Reveley helping us out here at TDA. But you know what to do, folks. Pick up the phone, baby. I know you're home, baby. 205-448-1358. But I'm going to call in to let your voice be heard on the show. 205-448-1358. And we take our first call from the pimp of the Blue Wrench Gang, Senator Hines. What's going on, man?
Pick up the phone, baby. What's good, Steven?
Well, you know what? I had to take my verse from the Travis Scott song, you know?
I feel you, bro. I feel you, man. What's good with the TDA fam in the chat? Shout out to everybody. Steven, man, this game, I don't want everybody to get overexcited because of Florida's performance against LSU. We all know how college football is, especially in the SEC. We've seen Florida's offense be explosive against a great defense in Georgia. So we can't expect those guys to come out flat-footed like they did against LSU. It was clear that they underestimated LSU. They thought they were going to be able to force a lot of over-the-top stuff, over-the-top passes. They thought they were going to be able to, just move the ball how they wanted to. But they forget that LSU recruits top-tier athletes just like Florida, just like Alabama, just like Georgia, just like Auburn. Like, these LSU is not – their second and third string guys aren't just some random 2 and 3-star walk-ons that's just filling in. These guys are athletes. So, honestly, and Naomi, I talked with Naomi, I talked with Will, I talked with Roll Tide Rise Up in the chat, and I was talking junk all week. Like, man, I wouldn't be surprised if Florida loses to LSU. That's a rivalry game too, so not surprised there. But I am surprised at how dominant our defense was this Saturday. I knew our defense was getting good, but that was dominant, Steven, from opening quarter to the end. Even the drives that were kind of extended, that was dominance on display. Opening quarter to the end, and that's what I'm ready to see this Friday. Prediction from me, I'm going 52-21 Alabama, maybe 55, 60 points. We might break 60 because, Coach Saban, he's been showing that he's kind of evolving into that cool guy coach, that players coach that everybody, he likes to have fun a little bit. So I still think we win with class, but because, Kyle Pitts is coming back, that guy's going to be a mismatch problem. Our defense is nice. We're going to get pressure to Kyle Trask. He's not a great out-of-pocket working QB. He's not good on extending plays. But you got a 6'5", 235-pound guy with a 38-inch vert that can stretch the field running a 4.56 or something like that on the 40. It's hard to stop that. I don't care what you do. You bracket, Surtain on him. You keep a safety over top. That guy, you throw it within a 11-foot jump ball radius, he's going to catch it. But like I said, man, we coming out on top. This our year. I called it at the beginning of the season. Every fan that's in here that's been watching the whole season before the season started, I've been calling. I said, if we get a season, we're going to win it all. Ohio State, Clemson, Notre Dame, Texas A&M, whoever they put in that playoffs against us, they getting it, Steven. But that's all I got for tonight, man. I appreciate you having the phone call for me, man. Roll Tide, and shout out to TDA fam, everybody in the chat. Blue Wrench Gang, stand up. Let's get this dub this weekend.
Absolutely. Appreciate that call there from Senator starting this off on a Monday. We take our next call. You're live on In My Own Words. What's going on?
What's up, dog?
What's going on?
No mud, dog. They call, dog.
How you feeling, Carl?
I'm good, dog. Hey, quick question, dog. How you win them wrenches, dog?
Man, how you get one of them wrenches? Well, you got to donate, man. You got to donate in that super chat. So what you do is on the right-hand side of the YouTube chat line, the right-hand side of YouTube, there's a $sign. You hit that $sign, you make them donations, you make enough of them, man. John Ivory gonna give you that wrench.
How much I need, dog? I'm trying to get one tonight, dog.
Hey man, if you could pull a Jimmy Clay and drop in 100, he might give you one now.
Hey, who is Jimmy Clay, dog? I need to holler at him, dog. I need about $100, dog.
Hey, you know what? Hey, we will find a way to help you, man. We will find a way to help you, man. But you ready for this game?
I'm ready, dog. Get ready for the game, dog.
All right, then. Well, I'm going to need you to talk to the Blue Wrench Gang. Talk to the Blue Wrench Gang. They're going to help you get your wrench, but appreciate that call right there. We continue with the next call. You are live on In My Own Words. What's going on?
Hey, it's kind of hard to follow that, whatever that was.
Yeah, he was trying to get his blue wrench on, man. We I guess the Blue Wrench family is going to help him, but he was trying to get that wrench, man.
I guess he was. Hey, I definitely agree with your previous caller about the defense. I mean, it's the way they're playing now. It's close to the glory days of Alabama defense, where LSU couldn't cross the 50-yard line, and nobody got 30 points or ever. You got 30 points on the defense, you had your outstanding game, and they're getting really close to that now. And like I said before. After that debacle, which was the Ole Miss game, if someone had told us the defense would be like this at the end of the season and we wouldn't want to fire Pete Golden or run him out of town, I would say you're crazy. But but like I said, Nick Saban is the GOAT for a reason because he will eventually fix it. Going back to LSU game, I don't think Florida overlooked LSU or thought they were just going to roll in there and just beat LSU like a drum. I think they just aren't as good as they thought they were. It's just, to me, because they are not 23 points better than LSU, which is what they always think has had them. And a lot of people are saying, well, let's see if Florida's clearly better than Texas A&M, and if they played again, Florida would beat Texas A&M. Not so sure about that either. Would Florida beat Texas A&M in a rematch? Don't know. I'm not so sure about that. They're not, because they're not significantly better than those teams the way Alabama is, and that is the thing. People were kind of trying to hint that Florida was, almost on Alabama's level as far as talent and ability to win. And well, they were shown you're not. They're not. Which makes it all the more disturbing that Ohio State they're trying to skate Ohio State into this playoffs with their weak, pathetic schedule. And only playing half of it, only playing with 5-6 games. Wouldn't Florida and Alabama have enjoyed playing one fewer game and just slide into their championship game instead of playing the whole season? That's why they said. That's why you play the game. You never know what's going to happen. On paper, it looked like LSU was just going to get rolled by Florida. Well, you play the game, you find out it's not going to be the case. So you just can't assume from eye test that someone is going to beat somebody. So therefore, there's no point in even playing the game. And Ohio State is just slipping in, playing far fewer games, being far fresher than all the other teams that play, If Alabama played one less game, we wouldn't have lost Christian Barmore. He wouldn't have been hurt. And if Florida played one less game, they still be in the college football playoff hunt. But Ohio State gets to just slide in playing only a fraction of the game. That's what's rubbing everybody the wrong way with that situation.
Hey, Robert, I agree with you right there on that point, man. We appreciate the call. Keep listening to us. Strong point there by Robert. Everybody, be sure to call back in that second call segment, 10 minutes. Call back in that second call segment, which will be in 10 minutes. So you can hold on through the break. You can also hold on through the break as well. Appreciating Jimmy Clay with that $20 donation there in the Super Chats. Quick no topic here. So Steve Sarkisian, Alabama offensive coordinator, was listed as one of the coaches on the short list to replace Gus Malzahn as the head coach of Auburn. Auburn let go of Malzahn, or fired Malzahn, after 8 seasons with him at the helm. Now, according to people that I've spoken with, Sarkisian is not the primary name. The 2 biggest fish out there that Auburn wants, Mario Cristobal at Oregon and Hugh Freeze at Liberty. Billy Napier's name out of Louisiana Lafayette, his name is snuck in there also, but Cristobal of Oregon, Hugh Freeze of Liberty are the 2 biggest fish that Auburn is trying to reel in terms of replacing Gus Malzahn at head coach. So Steve Sarkisian, while his name has been thrown out there, he is not the primary target for Auburn in terms of it replacing Gus Malzahn at the helm of the Tiger football program. We take our next break here on the show, but upon our return, we sit down with former Alabama wide receiver Matt Hereford and Chris Franklin, who covers the Philadelphia Eagles, to talk Bama football and one Jalen Hurts after this.
You know what we do at the start of the fourth quarter. We throw them foes up. But now you don't have to wait until the fourth quarter. Get your 4-finger bling necklace at WeOwnTheFourthQuarter.com. It's the first and only logo that captures the essence of all Crimson Tide players and fans as we represent the legendary Alabama football fourth quarter dominance. Get your 4-finger bling necklace right now at WeOwnTheFourthQuarter.com. Get yours today and stun on them haters. Touchdown Alabama Magazine is Alabama football's premier publication. A subscription to Touchdown Alabama Magazine is the perfect gift for any Alabama fan. For exclusive news and information, recruiting updates, a free annual print magazine, and more, go to touchdownalabama.com and click join. Only $7.95 per month, or pay $74.95 for a full year subscription. That's a yearly saving of $20. Go to touchdownalabama.com today and roll Tide. Thank you for tuning in. Show your support right now by clicking that like button. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button now and enable all notifications to make sure you don't ever miss any of the best Alabama football news, notes, and information right here on Touchdown Alabama.
All right, people, we're back in, baby. We are back in from the break on the #1 ticket for Crimson Tide football news. This is SEC Championship Week, Bama, Florida, from Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta. Winner take all for the SEC crown. Winner take all for the Heisman Trophy between Mac Jones, Kyle Trask, Devonta Smith. Smitty's Heisman to lose. Very well could be. So we're back in from the break on the hottest show on the streets here with yours truly, Stephen M. Smith of Touchdown Alabama Magazine. Be sure to like the show up. Give a thumbs up on the show. Hit that subscribe button. Turn all of those notifications on so that way you can have the best in news, notes, and analysis here on your Crimson Tide. But we move over to the In My Own Words hotline, where we pick up a good friend of mine, great friend of mine, former Alabama wide receiver, played from 2016 to 18, and that is one Matt Hereford. He is back on the show. Mac, what's going on?
Steven, what's happening? I'm happy to be back. Talk some Alabama football. It's always an honor to be on your show.
Awesome to have Mac Hereford here in the building. So, Mac, your boy, your man, Jalen Moody. Jalen Moody came in last week against Arkansas, replaced Christian Harris after an injury to Harris in the first defensive player of the game, and there was no drop-off. I mean, Moody, the dude from South Carolina, 7 tackles, shared the team lead, a forced fumble, a fumble recovery, shared a tackle for loss. The young man at 6'2", 225 was all over the field. Talk about his performance, how proud you were of him, and when he first came to Alabama in 2018, did you kind of have a sense that he was capable of having that type of impact?
Absolutely. First of all, I remember watching TV in the game, and I see that, Christian went down, and immediate was, dang, I felt really bad for Christian. He's a heck of a kid, a heck of a person and player, and, unbelievable teammate. And it's like, that stinks. But then moving forward, I was, curious to see who they would put in, because there's Cajo, there's Moody, there's Shane Lee. And I was just, super excited to see when they put number 42 in there, and Moody just did his job. He played an unbelievable game, and it was so much fun to see. I actually called his brother. He's really close with his brother, Juwan. He plays college football as well, and I called him, and he was very excited as well. But when Jalen came in, he was very under-recruited. I think I reached out to him that 2018 year, I guess, my sophomore year spring game, that when I played with Mac Jones. And then he met up with me after that spring game to say, hey, and just off the bat was just such a good guy. And you could tell, he didn't know. He said to me that originally he didn't know if he was necessarily going to be able to compete as much as he would throughout the time there, just because of being under-recruited. But when he got the chance to play at Alabama, that's what he wanted to do. So he stepped up to the occasion, and, throughout the years, he became my locker mate. And he just grew and grew. And, at the beginning, I wouldn't say I would see him as a star from the beginning of it, like in talent-wise, but he built that talent. I could see it from the way he works and, his drive, that he was going to make it. And I saw that from the beginning. He's just, so driven and works extremely hard. And last year I remember talking to him. He was still trying to get adjusted to just the college playbook. It was a whole different thing than high school. And in high school, he talked to me about how he was able to just ball out and just play football and play his game and feel comfortable and slow things down. And, when I've been talking to him this year, that's what he's been able to do. Starting in fall camp, I heard he had a great fall camp. But then, to go out there and compete, and I remember talking to him, he told me he didn't necessarily feel any nerves, and knew what to do and just played ball. And he's gotten, more fit, and he said he loves the new strength coaches and say they've helped a lot and contribute to his success. But he's just, done all of his jobs. He's studied the game so much, and he got his opportunity, and he balled out.
Mac, you've played with a lot of just great receivers at Alabama, whether it was the Calvin Ridleys, the Jerry Judys, the Henry Ruggs, the Jalen Waddles. You played with a lot of great ones, but Devonta Smith, he came in 2017, probably wasn't the most talked about receiver, but he has morphed into not just the greatest receiver to ever play here, but probably arguably the greatest player in college football this season, period. Just talk about the transformation, the maturation, the development that is Devonta Smith as he's right now in full pursuit of the Heisman Trophy.
Yeah, Devonta, I would think, to elevate his game from when he came in is kind of crazy, because he already came in being such an unbelievable receiver. I would compare him, compared to the other guys, I always thought Smitty, I call him Smitty, short for Devonta Smith, but Smitty, whenever I watched him with the other guys, he was different. You have Calvin and Jerry who have this unbelievable ability to make these moves that you just never see, and can, grab the ball and just run and juke out all these, DBs and stuff like that. And you have Waddle, who's extremely quick, has these quick twitch abilities to juke out so many guys. Devonta Smith is what I'd like to say is just a prototypical perfect wide receiver. Runs routes so crisp. I think he runs the crispest routes out of all those guys. And he's so clean and just looks so effortless when he runs. And just the way he's matured, when he came in, he was always ready to play, and he was always ready to ball. I think just over the years, he's gotten more maturity and leadership. I remember last year he started to step up in that role, and I know he's done a great job of that this year. But just being a leader and, taking on that role of being the superstar that he is, and always just such an unselfish guy who's extremely hardworking. I know he works out after every single practice. He's catching passes. He did that last year. He did that the year before, and the year before that. He's catching passes after practice, working hard, and just continues to get better and better.
Last quick question here on our end, Mac, and it's going to both coordinators, Steve Sarkisian, offensive coordinator, and then Pete Golding on the defensive side. What has been your assessment of both guys throughout the season, and especially Golding, as he has helped this defense improve since the Ole Miss game?
Yeah, Coach Sark, first of all, I expected him to do the great job he's done already. I mean, I loved getting a chance to learn from him and be around him in that building because he's just a very intelligent guy and very kind, really appreciates hard work and guys who want to be and play for Alabama. And so he's just done a great job calling the plays, and, that's what I expected. He just knows how to do things offensively wise. And Coach Golding, it's impressive to see where we started the season and then now how we're ending it. This defense had a rough start. There was problems in the defense, and, to see him just make a quick turnaround is very impressive, and you can see it. The stats show it, how we're shutting teams down. They all show it, and the Alabama defense has become a massive weapon rather than a weakness, that it might have been in the first place. We have all the talent there, but, it's on him to get the job right and get the guys in the right spots, and it seems that he just snapped his fingers, and it's actually been happening and working really well. And I look forward to seeing what they do these next couple of games.
He's Matt Hereford, ladies and gentlemen, former Alabama wide receiver, two-time SEC champion in 2016 and 2018, a national champion in the 2017 season. Joining us on the show to talk Crimson Tide. Mac, as always, man, stay safe, be good. Appreciate you, man.
Talk to you soon. Thank you so much. Roll Tide.
Absolutely. Fun having Matt Hereford on the show, but we now move to our next guest who covers the Philadelphia Eagles. He was checking out Jalen Hurts' first start against the New Orleans Saints. It's Chris Franklin of NJ.com, a New Jersey site. Chris, what's going on, man?
Hey, Steven, how's it going?
Pretty good, man. Outstanding. Glad to have you on here. So Jalen Hurts makes his first start against New Orleans. Against Sean Payton, a really good coach, and he had that team playing well, playing together, bought into him. I think he totaled 273 yards offensively, scored a touchdown. Eagles win 24-21. I mean, how awesome was that to see Jalen as a starter doing his thing out there?
I think he surprised a lot of people in Philadelphia with his performance, and he was able to use his legs. He was able to go ahead and make crisp passes. He was able to be accurate, and he was able to go ahead and basically go ahead and lead this Eagles offense that was stagnant for a lot of the season. He was able to go ahead and light the spark that head coach Doug Peterson was looking for, and he basically had the New Orleans Saints defense confused for that first half. It looked like he made a few adjustments and held them in check a little bit later on toward the end of the game, but he really looked like he was what Doug Peterson wanted. He provided the output that he wanted, so it was great to see.
Absolutely, Jalen Hurts getting that win there for the Eagles. And, after the game, Chris, there were so many NFL legends that spoke out. You had Tony Dungy proud of him, Warren Moon proud, guys like Terrell Owens spoke. I mean, so many NFL legends, and even a couple of NBA guys like Magic Johnson came out in support of Jalen Hurts. Like, what does that do for his confidence, seeing that so many guys that have played the game, watched him play, watched him succeed, especially those who follow his story? What does that do for a young man's confidence in Philadelphia, seeing these legends speak out on him?
Well, I think outwardly he's going to play it cool and calm and collective and say, hey, it's another day. But it's got to boost your confidence a lot, especially when you hear a lot of people, highly respected people, such as Tony Dungy, a great man who's seen a lot of football. And when you hear guys like that say, hey, you know what, you had a great performance, it definitely did. And he warranted. I mean, the fact that he ran the ball for 106 yards by himself, I mean, he was 5 yards away from setting the Eagles rookie record for actually placing 10th on the rookie list for yards run by an Eagles rookie. I mean, he was like 106 yards, 111 was the record by Charlie Garner. So the fact he's able to go ahead and do that and get that respect from everybody, it speaks volumes, and I think he's going to go ahead and use that to catapult him for next week.
Last quick one here, Chris. You got Jalen Hurts, Kyler Murray on Sunday, as Hurts will get his second start for the Eagles against the Cardinals. What do you want to see from Jalen in this matchup against Kyler Murray, a very electrifying quarterback in his own right?
Well, I think he's going to have to go ahead. It might be a shootout because the Eagles secondary definitely has a lot of injuries in the back end of it right now. And the offense is going to have to put a lot of points on the board. And I want to see Hurts actually take that next level. He showed he can use his legs, but I want to see him go ahead and stretch the field a little bit more. He did have a touchdown pass to Alshon Jeffrey, and a lot of the passes were about the 15 to 20-yard range. I want to see him go ahead and not only just go ahead and make the accurate throws short, I want to see him go ahead and take a shot or two to go ahead and relieve some of those Cardinal safeties, because the Cardinals want to present a big challenge for his Eagles. But if he's able to go ahead and perform the way he did this past game, I think he's going to be just fine.
He's Chris Franklin, ladies and gentlemen, covering the Philadelphia Eagles for NJ.com, a New Jersey news site, as Jalen Hurts getting his first win as a starter against the New Orleans Saints. He will start again for the Eagles this week against the Arizona Cardinals. Chris, my man, appreciate you coming on to talk some Jalen Hurts with us here. Stay safe, man. Be good.
Thanks, man, Steven. Always great talking to you, man. Thank you.
Absolutely. Good to have Chris Franklin to talk Jalen Hurts and the Eagles, and my man Matt Hereford talking some Bama football. We're taking a break here on the show, but when we get back, we dive into the phone lines again to get your phone calls, your thoughts, your viewpoints, your ideas, your opinions on Alabama football. We get to you, the fans, after this.
Don't touch that dial. Call in right now as we're taking your calls up next on In My Own Words with Stephen M. Smith. Brought to you by We Own the Fourth Quarter. Visit weownthefourthquarter.com now to get your four-finger bling necklace. You know what we do at the start of the fourth quarter. We throw them foes up. But now you don't have to wait until the fourth quarter. Get your four-finger bling necklace at weownthefourthquarter.com. It's the first and only logo that captures the essence of all Crimson Tide players and fans as we represent the legendary Alabama football fourth quarter dominance. Get your four-finger bling necklace right now at weownthefourthquarter.com. Get yours today and stun on them haters. Touchdown Alabama Magazine is Alabama football's premier publication. A subscription to Touchdown Alabama Magazine is the perfect gift for any Alabama fan. For exclusive news and information, recruiting updates, a free annual print magazine, and more, go to touchdownalabama.com and click join. Only $7.95 per month, or pay $74.95 for a full year subscription. That's a yearly saving of $20. Go to touchdownalabama.com today and roll Tide. Thank you for tuning in. Show your support right now by clicking that like button. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button now and enable all notifications to make sure you don't ever miss any of the best Alabama football news, notes, and information right here on Touchdown Alabama.
All right, folks, we are back in from the break on the number one source for Crimson Tide football news, In My Own Words, with yours truly, Stephen Smith of Touchdown Alabama Magazine. And before we get back to the phone lines to take your calls, call segment brought to you by the Blue Wrench Gang. Got to remind you of our sponsor, the latest sponsor, the TDA, that is mybookie.ag. MyBookie.ag, latest sponsor here. So make the right play right now. Make the right play and sign up today at MyBookie.ag. If you're trying to win some money, you feeling fortunate, you feeling lucky, you feel like you got the power play, make the right play today and sign up at mybookie.ag. And when you do sign up, use the promo code TDAlabama to get your deposit matched halfway up to $1,000. In the words of my Uncle Rail, shawty, you can't beat that with a stick. So when you do sign up, when you do make that play here, use the promo code TDAlabama to get your deposit matched halfway up to $1,000. That's mybookie.ag. Get your win on right now. mybookie.ag. Latest sponsor of Touchdown Alabama magazine. Also, we encourage you guys to come hang out with us tomorrow on the TDA YouTube channel all day on Wednesday. Come and hang out with us all day Wednesday on the TDA YouTube channel, as we'll have the National Signing Day, live National Signing Day show with Justin Smith, the lead scouting and recruiting analyst for TDA, and yours truly, Stephen M. Smith. So on Wednesday, hang out with us all day Wednesday, National Signing Day show, TDA with Justin Smith, and yours truly right here for Touchdown Alabama magazine. Also, we have a super chat to get to. How about Andrew Blair? Andrew Blair dropping in that $1 right there, that fresh George Washington into the super chats. Appreciate that donation there coming from one Andrew Blair. But we go to your phone calls now. 205-448-1358. The segment brought to you by the Blue Wrench Gang. 205-448-1358. And we take a call right now. You're live on the show. What's going on?
Hey, Stephen, this is Rich from Roanoke, man. How you doing tonight?
Rich, how you feeling, man?
Man, I'm feeling good. I'm just so proud to be an Alabama fan.
Man, you and a lot others, Rich, but how about that defense, though?
Oh, man, they are just phenomenal. They were supposed to be the ones that, give us a little bit of problem. I went back to their defense, but, just all the way around the ball. I mean, our defense from the time of playing Lane Kiffin and Ole Miss to now is just phenomenal. I mean, the whole team, I can look back through the years, and I might, be wanting to kick myself in the foot for saying this, but I feel like, honestly, this is probably the best all-around team that I can remember Coach Saban having. I mean, we get Waddle back. Man, I don't know nobody that's going to beat us. I've been watching everybody that I think is going to play. It's Ohio State, Clemson, even A&M, and they're just nobody to me on our level. Even Ohio State don't have a lot of games, but they don't have the team they had last year at all. I mean, I just think that I believe the closest game will be, I'm just going to go ahead and say Clemson, and I still think we'll beat them by 21. I mean, what about you?
I mean, the 2009 team has a special place in Saban's heart because it went undefeated, but I do agree this year's team, the offense is more dynamic. The defense is starting to click at the right time, especially the pass rush. But my man Rich, we appreciate the call, man. You keep listening to us. We're going to go to another call right now. You're live on the show. What's going on?
Hi, this is Bill from Springville. How's everything?
Man, I'm doing well, man. Bama, Florida this weekend, SEC championship, winner take all for everything, SEC, possibly even Heisman. I'm good right now.
It's a good place to be in. Winner take all for the Heisman. I think Mac, if they win, definitely wins the Heisman. I can't see them not giving it to them. They're definitely in a good position with Florida. The more I thought about it, I called a few weeks ago, and I really thought people were definitely overreacting to Alabama's defense and that they weren't playing well. And obviously they weren't, but I just felt it was really early in the season. And now when you look at it, like they bring so much of their defense back next year. Like it's like the defense is becoming a strong point for the program again. And when you look back on last year with a lot of the injuries and those guys playing, probably forced into playing before some of them, maybe they were ready. Like this whole thing really started last year. Unfortunately, they didn't make the playoffs, but Mac's starting to show that he could lead the program. I wasn't worried about him this year at all. The defense getting valuable experience to help them this year. Najee coming back. I mean, this team's, they're in a great position here to make a run for another national championship.
I'm excited about this group, man. I'm excited what Coach Saban has done with this group. It went undefeated this year. Looking forward to this game. But we appreciate the call, man. You continue to listen to us. We take another call. You're live on In My Own Words. What's going on?
Yeah, I'm all right there, Steven. How about yourself?
Man, I cannot complain, man. Bama, Florida this weekend. You can't beat it.
There you go. This is William Bryan up here in Iowa.
How about Will? Will's in here. What's going on?
I'm all right, man. I'm going to answer Ronnie Collier's answer to the locker drop on.
That's become everybody's favorite segment.
on there to sack Mac Jones, I'm gonna put that as a lock. I also answered that in the YouTube. Somebody had a
poll?
A poll. Like who had the who would you say that has done the most this year? And I put the offensive line, because if you don't have anybody to help out your quarterback to give him time to make his decisions, he's going to get sacked. So I'm proud of all five of them there that's on that line, especially Landon Dickerson. You've already said that. He's one tough cookie.
He is one tough dude, and it looks to be like he can be a first-round pick in the upcoming draft. But William, man, appreciate the call. Thanks for all you do on the show, man. Keep listening to us. We appreciate William Bryan. We take our next call of the night. You're live on the show. What's going on?
Good evening, Stephen. How are you?
I'm doing well, man. Doing well. Bama, Florida this week.
Bama, Florida's big. Just to reiterate on what the last caller said, the offensive line is really the unsung hero behind this year's football team. With all the weapons that Alabama has on the perimeter, and even with Mac Jones, the offensive line controlling the line of scrimmage has really just done an outstanding job. Kyle Flood and the job that he's done since coming to Alabama, that offensive line is just dominant. I have not witnessed an offensive line like that come through there in quite some time.
The 2012 group was good, man, but this 2020 group trying to give it a big run for its money, and it is giving it a big run for its money. A great job there from Kyle Flood. We appreciate the call, man. You keep listening to us. Absolutely. Appreciate you guys calling in. 205-448-1358. Getting your opinions here on the show. 205-448-1358. But quick topic right here. Somebody mentioned Jalen Waddle. I think it was Rich from Roanoke mentioned Jalen Waddle. Check out this video. Waddle is out of the walking boot. What? Devonta Smith posted this video to his Instagram. Jalen Waddle in the locker room, no walking boot on that right foot. Uh-oh. What could this mean? What could this be? What is this occurrence right here? I was told by credible close sources that, Waddle ahead of schedule, on par with this recovery, could potentially be back for the college football playoff. And in this video from Smitty, he does not have the walking boot on. So what does this mean in terms of Jalen Waddle? It's about to get really exciting here coming up for you as the Alabama football faithful. We take another break here on the show, but upon our return, we discuss Devonta Smith and why the Heisman is potentially his to lose. We'll talk Smitty after this.
If you're an avid Alabama Crimson Tide fan and you love to flaunt it, then show your Alabama Crimson Tide support by grabbing the All-Bama sneakers. They feature bold Crimson Tide graphics, so no one will be able to question where your allegiance lies. When you add these sweet sneakers to your Alabama Crimson Tide collection, go to stsfootwear.com and use the code TDAlabama for $15 off your purchase. That's code TDAlabama for $15 off your purchase. Go to stsfootwear.com and get your All-Bama sneakers today. Touchdown Alabama Magazine is Alabama football's premier publication. A subscription to Touchdown Alabama Magazine is the perfect gift for any Alabama fan. For exclusive news and information, recruiting updates, a free annual print magazine, and more, go to touchdownalabama.com and click join. Only $7.95 per month, or pay $74.95 for a full year subscription. That's a yearly saving of $20. Go to touchdownalabama.com today and roll Tide. Thank you for tuning in. Show your support right now by clicking that like button. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button now and enable all notifications to make sure you don't ever miss any of the best Alabama football news, notes, and information right here on Touchdown Alabama.
All right, Tide Nation, we're rocking and rolling back in from the break on the number one ticket for Crimson Tide football news, that being In My Own Words, with yours truly, Stephen Smith of Touchdown Alabama magazine. Happy to have my man John Ivory in the building doing that production thing in the studio. Happy to have you guys tuning into the show on today. Appreciate the phone calls, the chats, the tweets, the interaction that you guys have been giving us. Be sure to like the show up, give a thumbs up on the show, hit that subscribe button, turn all of those notifications on so that way you got your coverage right there on all things Crimson Tide. As always, people, be sure to check out tdawear.com. That is tdawear.com for your Alabama football clothing purchasing apparel needs there. We got you covered there if you fancy the I Love Hearing Touchdown Alabama shirts, the We Want Football shirts, Let Them Play shirts, hoodies of all shapes, sizes, colors. We got you right here. tdawear.com. That is tdawear.com. Do your shopping right there, supporting Nick Saban, the University of Alabama, the student athletes, and us here at Touchdown Alabama magazine. Now we get into Devonta Smith, Smitty. And I mentioned this before. As much as Mac Jones has had an incredible year, and he has proved a lot of people wrong, proved a lot of doubters wrong, having an incredible year this season. And as much as the Heisman Trophy has become a quarterback award, we have seen some running backs get the honor, i.e. Derrick Henry, Mark Ingram. We saw one receiver get the honor, as of late, and that goes back to the 90s with Desmond Howard of the University of Michigan. But it's turned into a quarterback award. And while Mac Jones is deserving of the honor, I think Devonta Smith, the Heisman is Devonta Smith's to lose. Heisman is Smitty's to lose. And the reason why I say this is, go back to the Tennessee game for a moment now. I want you to close your eyes, Tide Nation. Think back to the Tennessee game when Jalen Waddle got hurt on the first darn play of the game. Jalen Waddle gets hurt. He hurts his right ankle. He has to go to the medical tent. He's being taken off the field. He's on the cart to the locker room. He has to go have the MRI done, and we got the news on Waddle with the high ankle sprain with the fracture involved. All of that information right there, taking you back to the Tennessee game. After that game, pundits of ESPN were saying, Bama's done. They're over. Put a fork in them. They're done. No championship for Bama. No college football playoff for Alabama. Why? It lost Jalen Waddle. Its best receiver, its most explosive playmaker, the best it's got. They don't make him like Jalen Waddle. He is the one big play threat they have. They have no one else. And they just lost Waddle. Bama is done. Remember that moment there from the ESPN media pundits, because since the Tennessee game, Devonta Smith has exponentially raised his level of play. He cannot be stopped. He cannot be guarded. He cannot be contained. And even though I'm going to guy by the name of Jalen Tabor, a former Florida Gator defensive back, he sat there and went on Instagram this week and sat there and called his buddy Marco Wilson, yes, the guy that threw the shoe that cost Florida the game, that guy right there, Tabor, calls up Marco Wilson on Instagram and goes, hey, Marco, bruh, ain't nobody better than you, man. You gonna lock down 6 this weekend. You gonna lock down Smitty. Give me a break. Marco Wilson is going to be tasked to lock down Smitty. Good luck. Good luck. Like I mentioned before, Devonta Smith paying child support for 4 defensive secondaries in the SEC. He's owned Ole Miss since he's been at Alabama. He's owned LSU. He's owned Georgia. He has owned Mississippi State. And he's looking to own the Florida secondary this weekend. Now, Florida's got a good group. They got a good group. No offense to them. But to sit there and say that Marco Wilson is going to lock up Devonta Smith. This is going to be really, really, really interesting because Smitty this season, 83 catches on the year, second in the country, 1,327 yards, first in the country, 15 touchdown receptions, second in the country, 6 100-yard games, 2 200-yard games. I mean, that has just been, phenomenal. And even though on last week he only had 3 catches for 22 yards against Arkansas, he did have a punt return touchdown against the Hogs of 84 yards, getting Alabama's offense jump-started in that game. So Smitty was even able to show Waddle, a J-dub. You returning punts, Shawty, I can return punts too and score right along with you. So, Smitty catching touchdowns, returning touchdowns on punt returns. But even though he only had 3 catches for 22 yards against Arkansas, here's another reason that makes him so valuable. Arkansas was so afraid of Devonta Smith, they played 3 deep the whole game. They had 3 defensive backs deep the whole game because they were afraid of Smitty. So what did that do? It opened up Miller Forrestall, who had 6 catches for 52 yards. It opened up John Mechie, who had 5 catches for 72 yards. It opened up Slade Bolden. It opened up Slade Bolden, who had 4 catches for 43 yards. It opened up Javon Baker, the freshman, who had 2 catches for 15 yards. It even allowed Brian Robinson to have 4 catches for 22 yards in the matchup. So even when Arkansas was trying to cover and defend and play 3 deep to take Smitty out of the ball game, it opened up everybody else for this Alabama team in terms of the wide receiver core. So the guy is unreal. Like, ever since Jalen Waddle got hurt, Devonta Smith has stepped all the way up. This Alabama offense has not missed a beat, has not missed a sound, has not missed an assignment. It stayed in pocket with the emergence of Smitty. Alabama scoring 49.5 points, per game, which is first in the country. Alabama with 537.8 total yards. That's third in the country. With Smitty, Mac Jones has the highest pass efficiency rating in the country at 203.9. With Smitty, Mac Jones has the best total QBR at 96 and the best raw QBR on top of that. If you remove Devonta Smith from this offense, from this team, the team struggles. The production dips because aside from Smitty, Mac Jones does not have that real raw chemistry with everybody else. I mean, it's growing with Mechie, it's growing with Slade Bolden, it's growing with other guys, but it's like Smitty and Jones can see inside of each other's souls. They lock souls with each other. They're soul brothers. Smitty and Mac Jones, soul brothers. But Smitty, I think a big performance from him this weekend against Florida. Have him for winning the Heisman Trophy. It's his to lose. He has stepped all the way up for this team. If you want to have Bama fans, the best in news, notes, information, and coverage here on your Crimson Tide, it's very simple and easy to do this. You can get this by accessing the Touchdown Alabama Magazine app. You can download the app from the iPhone App Store if you're rocking Team Apple. Google Play Store if you've got the Android phone. For your audio listening needs, we got you right here, iTunes or Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Spreaker, Google Play, TuneIn Radio, Overcast.fm, or iHeartRadio. We got you covered right here, people. If the good and gracious Lord sees fit, I'll be back on Wednesday, continuing the conversation that is Tide football. Also, Bama fans, be sure to purchase individual copies of Touchdown Alabama Magazine. Have those sent to your door. That link will be in the description. Also, the link to weownthefourthquarter.com will be in the description so you can get that 4-finger bling necklace. And once again, Bama Nation, on Wednesday, National Signing Day show. We will be in studio, TDA, live the entire day, breaking down every letter of intent, every new commit, every new signee coming to the Crimson Tide, with one Justin Smith, the lead scouting and recruiting analyst for TDA. So set your calendars, folks. Wednesday, be in the group chat line, be on the YouTube channel. We're going live, National Signing Day show. But Until next time, husbands love your wives. Wives appreciate, value those husbands. Children, continue to do those things legitimately now to not be bored. Get you those 3 hearty meals a day, those 3 great laughs a day. Protect yourself, protect the loved ones around you. Until next time, folks, I'm your man, Stephen M. Smith. This has been In My Own Words.